My most challenging moment was a community conversation that I had to conduct without Kevin being there to form I have a backup there, and it was with Habitat for Humanity. It was I didn't know who was going to show up. I failed to ask what kind of people, what groups are going to be there. So it was two distinct groups who didn't have a history of getting along with each other, and I didn't know this, and I walked. It was an immigrant group and a non-immigrant group, and it was quite emotional, and everybody, one group didn't care about what the other group thought, and it went back and forth. So it was really challenging to try and pull that together and make it come out in a positive note. So that was my most memorable moment. And that's about it.
I found the first two meetings a challenge. I was skeptical, and I remember coming to I missed the Las Vegas meeting, but I remember coming to Chicago and realizing I feel completely different than I did the first two about this project. Most memorable moments are just about every community conversation we've had have been really memorable. And funniest moment is any time we could get Rich to blush.
It does work.
Joe?
I think that the most challenging moment for me is, again, about to be when I go back to the office and grapple with the reality that this may not be an organization that wants to go to this place. And during the course of this project, I have attended 2 of the Harwood Public Innovators Summits, and I'll put a plug in for that because very few public broadcasters attend those. And that sort of gets to my most memorable moment in this. This process has been good for me because I have always sort of instinctively had a notion that public broadcasting could do this kind of good work and have this kind of impact on the community, but this has given me the language to describe it. But at the summit, I realized one moment, one afternoon, that I would be happy to walk out the door with almost anyone in that room and go do the work that they were doing, whether it was at Goodwill or one of the other organizations that was represented there, because this is just a good frame for all good works in our society. And so while I thought I would always be in public broadcasting, if public broadcasting ends up not actually wanting to do this work, there's an outlet for it elsewhere.
John?
Well, as the newcomer to the group, I guess my first observation would be I wish I'd been able to come to the other ones. It's been a really interesting couple of days or day and a half. In terms of just an observation, I found last evening the hour and a half that we spent collectively hearing and discussing the 3 presentations was far superior to the breakout rooms this morning. And I would have wished that we could have spent more time having the collective group watch all the presentations and have that discussion, because I thought that was probably the richest part of the meetings for me. And without no offense, but the last hour and a half could have been probably jettisoned and much more richer content. And my funniest moment was always spending with my good friend Brian anywhere, but watching his 135 decks PowerPoint this morning.
Yes, those of you who weren't in that room, he has 135 PowerPoint slides. I don't know how you did it in 12 minutes. It must have been
every 5 seconds.
But if you haven't seen it, if you didn't get a chance to watch it, please do when it comes out.
So the one advantage we have, John, is there's all this anticipation now for the presentation you didn't see, so you're all going to watch them when you can. Kelly?
The most challenging moment to date has been how much I want to see the change of Vermont Public Television to become the organization we know we can be. But there are moments when I feel we might not have the right people in the right places.
Who are you talking about?
I'll just throw that out and let the rest put the pieces together.
Now you understand why I didn't cover that.
No.
But
could you qualify that?
No. My most memorable moment was, even though we have had such incredible challenges internally at our last innovation space, the group finally saying enough talking. Let's do something. And they took it upon themselves to challenge the content group to start working under a framework that came out of the listening sessions, and not just a topic per month, but that we would really dive deep on the challenges of affordability in living in this beautiful place called Vermont. That they finally got it. They wanted to take it to the next step, and they challenged the content group to come along. And for an organization that has been fighting it all along, it was an amazing moment for me, and one that I'm far more optimistic. We still have tremendous challenges, and no, I'm not talking about a job. But it was a really inspiring moment that we might just get.
Okay. Jen?
My most challenging moment today probably has been this whole project, this whole initiative. I don't know how many of you know, but when I began this project, I was a mom, first-time mom to a 3-month-old baby. So the first time I traveled was right after I got returned from mat leave. And so I was trying to focus, period. So when I first started this initiative, it was so overwhelming. I felt like I'd landed on Mars, and I was completely struggling to keep up with everyone. That's how I felt. I don't have a really funniest moment, but my most memorable moment is as I was working on my presentation for this workspace, I realized that I get it. I feel empowered. I understand it. I have the tools to sort of effectively relay that to other people. And it really felt empowering to know that I actually learned something and I get it. And as Kelly had said, I kind of wished I had this aha moment earlier, so I could be that much further along in the process.
Well,
I think my most most challenging moment from inside the workspaces was it in Chicago when we were wrestling with Metro?